I believe I'm officially on. Okay, I will admit, by the by, I've been kind of frothing at the mouth today to be able to get on here and just say my piece. I truly wish that I could only just vent about the things that happen to me personally, but it's never that simple. You're probably going to hear a lot of noise in the background. My phone is blowing up today. I apologize for that. But it's a good thing. It's blowing up on a Friday. At least somebody out there wants to do something. But no, right now I'm still committed to some of the things happening here. And of course, look, I cannot resist. First off, everybody that sees this, I'm assuming, knows just as well as I do that there's a new Ryan Upchurch video. And I believe, though, this one's interesting because instead of finding myself constantly, I don't know, trying to see where he stands on something or his theory, it's not that complicated for me, finally. Like, I'm kind of grateful. To me, this scenario is kind of a breath of fresh air compared to some of the other things regarding this case. And aside from that, there is this thing with John Lang. It's a case that I wish the consensus of the public would just kind of just say, yeah, it's a cover up. You know, we tried, we failed. You all know the truth. Think of the progress that we could all make and accomplish and do as a society, as a people, if the people that we entrust with our tax dollars and our to also serve the law and legislation and write the bills. Imagine what kind of utopia we'd live in. But again, we are not built to enjoy peacetime for too long. We do not do well in utopia and peacetime. We are creatures that seek conflict. And perhaps that's one of the very reasons that we continue to find, I don't know, inconsistencies, conspiracies. I mean, sometimes when something is strange, it's just strange. And calling it for what it is just that. It's being honest with yourself, being sincere about something, and stepping out of the box or the status quo. And if there's one thing I've learned in my life, in talking publicly or just in general, I don't like the status quo. Normal is a bullshit term that was made up. Anything normal scares the shit out of me because it makes me look and ask and think, what's really going on. Normal is what people want others to see through their social media profiles. And then when you dig a little deeper, you get to see, oh, that's a nice veneer, and I see right through it. But let me, wait, my favorite part of the stream. Hello, Cindy, sweetheart. It is always awesome to see you. You are my number one, let me reverse that respectfully. I am your number one fan, okay? Truly, once I see you, I feel so at ease and relieved. So thank you for your presence here. Well, that was quite a shout out. So let me dig right in and let me address this thing. And a shout out. My goodness, I'm shot out. Shout out to Bert Gummer Live, my buddy that kind of gave me a reality check, a little dose of reality. Perhaps, I don't know. I am still not certain. Okay, I've received 2 copyright claims. Both of which, and I've said this before, but I'll try to make it terse here. One that I deleted was just about Ryan Upchurch. The only footage I played was Ryan Upchurch's thoughts, not his music, not anything that I would assume would be copywritten. And I think he's a gentleman that believes in our First Amendment rights and is all about the public domain and understanding what that means to be a public individual. To a much smaller extent on the grand scale. I understand that everything I say can and might be used in any which way anybody wishes. On the other show that I do, somebody compiled all of my words to make it sound like I said something that I didn't. So I know the risk involved. My friend Bert has continuously put it into my brain that it's not Ryan Upchurch or the Creek Squad or anybody that is going around trying to chase me away and put a copyright claim. It hasn't added any restrictions. Apparently it prevents monetization. Good thing that's something I don't have to worry about. And yes, the last Ryan Upchurch video I did, that I use his video where he's just thinking, got the same copyright claim. So I'm curious. I'm also interested in any other feedback I can get. Oh, man, I wish that phone would stop blowing up. Give me just a moment. Okay. Hey, Bert, you came in when I was talking about you. So I'm going to dig right in, if you don't mind. It is Friday night, after all. I'm concerned. Do I show the video? Okay. Living Dangerous. Here we go. Showing you what I see. See through my eyes. I don't know that it's necessary to always play his video visually. Fair use, okay? I am reacting to this and very much trying to understand things through his perspective. And I've also found, one of my cheesy lines, a unifier. I do agree with him, and I'll point out where. Okay, here we go. Let me make sure that the volume is set appropriately. Man, that phone is going to really drive me ragged. Maybe I'll break down live. All right, here we go.
Look at this fucking dude.
Yeah.
So before this jackass insinuates he needs a fucking Purple Heart because he picked up some trash out of the lake, why in the hell is everybody in the YouTube crime community? Some of y'all people will fucking believe anybody, I swear to God. Y'all are posting Kylie Rodney's laptop has been found. A guy showed you a waterlogged piece of trash electronic that he got out of the lake. You don't know whose it is. What the hell?
So, I do want to point out, I mean, there's a level of irony, and I can't be the only one that sees it. All right, so there is some, what's the term here? Consideration, condemnation, and just general, I don't know, the thought is anybody out there will believe anything. You all will believe anything. That is pretty fascinating coming from somebody who, by the way, I do not consider an enemy. I hope people understand. I'm not hating on the man. I've been following him from day one to where he's at here, and at first things were making sense, and then they started not making sense. But at least I agree with him on that very point. Wow, you guys will believe anything. Well, if he would perhaps look into a mirror and then propose that question to himself and the plethora of followers he has. Very, very passionate people that will not admit to him doing any wrong. He can do no wrong. I mean, isn't that not an interesting juxtaposition? He is not hating on, but commenting on people believing somebody that said he has Kylie Rodney's laptop. And apparently, he finds it quite funny that anybody believes this individual. So couldn't we use the same logic against Mr. Upchurch here? All of the theories that you've presented, why is anybody believing you? So I haven't heard this guy out. I only heard tale of it during a live. So let's see what he has to say. Yes, he does lick his lips a creepy amount of times, but I'm not going to let that distract me from the information and this character. It doesn't mean he's a scumbag. I hope he's not a liar, because we will drag him if that's the case. But let's see. I am curious now. So that's a bold claim to make. You better not be full of shit, bud, because you're going to have a really bad time if you are. Too many people are invested in this case. Bear with me, my friends.
I called some people.
Speak louder.
The person I called was full of shit like you, probably.
Who know the family. No one could get a hold of the family. The grandpa said I'm coming right over.
This guy. No one can get a hold of the family. Also, this guy. I got a hold of the family.
Who is this man that apparently has access to the grandpa of Kylie Rodney that rushed right over to deliver the laptop? Didn't I hear he fished it out himself? And also, another little hole to poke in to the whole theory. Fuck that. A fact to poke a hole in what some people claim is fact. Ryan Upchurch has persisted that dad grandpa or grandpa dad, whatever the hell it is, uncle grandpa, that's a thing, right? Well, we now have the dad and the grandpa both at the same scene at the same time. So I would be honestly, genuinely, sincerely curious as to somebody who believes that they are one and the same, what they would respond now knowing that that's the case. I think one would maybe feel a mite uncomfortable when faced with such evidence. So I'll just put that out there. But let me see this man with a huge claim. I wonder who the hell he is, where he came from, and what connection does he have to the family? Why the hell does he have the laptop? Did he fish it out, or did the grandpa rush over? Oh, maybe I jumped the gun a little bit. Did he find it and tell the grandpa, and the grandpa rushed over? Okay, so still trying to understand, man. It's impossible. The bar has been set too high. Understanding the truth of the matter, aside from I'm convinced, yes, that's Kylie Rodney's body. Somebody else has said she may have been drunk driving. Jagger did say, Kylie Rodney was just drunk driving. That's the boyfriend. She just was drunk driving. Everybody leave us in peace. But that's not the reports we had been given. But in the terms of possibility, if she was drunk driving and they found her body in the back with no seatbelt and that window was cracked down. That window was cracked down just enough for somebody of her stature and slimness. She was a frail little girl. That was enough room for her to get in and get out, apparently. So that could infer that another girl around the same height, size, whatever the case, could have also been involved in some capacity. Hell, I seen that Jagger boyfriend kid. He looks skinny enough to fit through. I'm not speculating, insinuating, or accusing anybody of anything. I'm just thinking out loud, and I think it's a free country still. Copyright claim. So, okay. So, Lick Lips guy with the laptop.
His grandpa, he came right over.
Speak up.
As soon as he could. He was on scene. That man has a heart of gold.
Okay.
Yeah, this dude met him for fucking 30 seconds while he handed him a fucking waterlogged laptop. He's like, yes, I know his entire life. He has a heart of gold. This is the guy that easily gets robbed downtown, bruh. All you gotta do is just tell him you have a gun. You don't even have to have a gun. You can be like, hey, I have a gun. Like, oh my God, what do you want, my whole wallet? Sure.
Kylie was lucky to have a grandpa like him.
How do you know, though? You don't know the guy.
I can tell you that.
However, wouldn't it be beneficial to be critical of anybody that has met the grandpa? Doesn't that also become another nail in the coffin of the theory that the grandpa is not who he says he is? When we have more people coming out of the woodwork saying, I know him. I understand how this works, though, in the world of conspiracy and making them, that you could just say, oh, this is just another crisis actor or somebody that was planted to make you think that Grandpa Dad is real. I mean, I don't know where else to go with this. All right, and I really wish this guy would just, speak with a microphone or something. Come on, guy. People are using frickin' speakers to the microphone because of this crap.
Well, sure, you can tell me, but I can still just be like, how do you know? Don't tell me this guy is about to fake cry because he found a waterlogged electronic device. An electronic device that may or may not belong to somebody. Why are you about to break down because of it? You don't know, dude.
At this point.
What does Ryan Upchurch know that this guy knows? In fairness, I'm not trying to... See, I started this thinking that him and I completely agreed, that this dude came out and making a big, bold claim and doesn't... And I think where I really agreed with him was that, yeah, people will believe anything. Well, that should apply to everybody that says the line, too, Mr. Upchurch. All right. Let me continue to go down the rabbit hole.
Point. I still hadn't let the young girl know about the laptop.
What young?
You still haven't told what girl? Is it just this random girl being like, yep, I'm gonna sit here and watch this guy keep diving underwater?
There is a big chunk of missing context here, if that's where the commentary is pointed at. Yeah, what girl? Please, guy, fill us in, just a smidge. Unless she's a minor, and we have to respect that, because some people that have 3 million followers might just put that name out there, and we know what's happened in the past. Kylie Rodney's Instagram had to go private, I think, as a result of the level of harassment. I'm only speculating.
I pulled the laptop out, and I kept diving.
Why is this dude wording it like he is? I'm in SEAL Team
Maybe he saw something, dude. I don't know.
6 and I showed up with the jaws.
I don't mean to be such a negative spectator about Ryan Upchurch. Is it possible that he is maybe a mite nervous at all? I mean, I know he's the king of don't give a fuck. He makes that very clear time and time again. But is it possible that he might be shaken up if there is something that could prove everything that he has said is pretty much way off? I mean, yeah, man, look, still with the Zaname thing, I still think she was shady, sketchy, there at the scene of the crime. But also somebody filled in the blanks for me. She showed the video, I was told. I need to, please, if you have the source for that, I need receipts. I can't just continue to speculate until, I'm dead and buried. I need conclusions and peace of mind. But somebody told me Xana May did show the footage somewhere on some podcast, and it had nothing of the party that Kali Rodney was at. Nothing.
Life to pull out the laptop. You picked up a fucking laptop, dude. You just picked up a laptop.
Pull the charger out.
Do you just like picking up one thing at a time, even though they're just right beside each other? What do you mean?
I kept diving and diving. I kept diving and diving.
I think it's clear to me, at this point, as much as I respect Mr. Upchurch, Ryan Upchurch, he doesn't take this shit seriously anymore. I think he's only, and I'm sorry to sound so critical and decisive, sometimes at some point you have to just dig in with how you feel about something. You can't, sometimes it's convenient to sit on the fence, stuck in the middle, so to speak, but at some point, when it gets too flimsy in the middle, you do fall on one side or the other. Why is he so angry at this guy? Like, why is he dragging him so hard for what? His behavior is no longer one of, it's a big cover-up, guys, and that's a very serious thing to say and a serious accusation. And if he is Ryan Upchurch still standing by the fact that the body discovered in the back of the vehicle of the CRV is not Kali Rodney, like that in this world, the burden of proof lies on that which whom makes the claim. It is not behooving upon the family of the victim to go and prove to a bunch of internet sleuths and assholes, or, I'm not calling anybody associated an asshole here, in general, including myself. This poor fucking family does not have to go and prove that their daughter was real before she was murdered or OD'd or, who knows. As far as I am aware, despite being told otherwise, the autopsy is inconclusive in terms of a cause of death. And a buddy of mine claimed, there's no water in the lungs, but I haven't seen any receipts regarding that claim. So, but I don't know, man. He is lashing out at someone that could be a big part, or at least fulfill a big part of the puzzle that is this fucking case. And I just see him railing on the dude. I don't know the dude from Adam, but, it's easy to make fun of a stranger, but why? Like, really, what's the motivation? So, okay, let's continue. It's like a Band-Aid. I'm ripping it off.
How many times did you dive down for just two things that are right beside each other? That doesn't make sense.
Kept diving.
All right.
Like sand through the hourglass, these are the days of our lives.
Something wrong with these fucking people, bro.
Let's take a little accountability, huh? These people, we are these people. I mean, no. We're not gonna play any copywritten anything here. Not today, Satan. We are these people, okay? Criticizing anyone that gets involved is a criticism on all of us, including you, including me. So that just, I don't know, man. What's the saying? Don't hate the player, hate the game. But the problem is, this is not a fucking game, and I still have the thoughts that I did originally regarding you or Ryan Upchurch talking about why is everybody so angry that they found Kali Rodney's body? It doesn't make sense, which thusly proves my point. No, I don't think so. I think anger, especially from the father who was at the scene when AWP told them, again, I repeat, he was probably fucking pissed off that he had to wait as long as he did because the police failed him as a citizen and failed just in totality of, anybody that would hope their child is found, given the 20,000 man hours and all of the people that were involved in the search, and that in a 30-foot body of water is where she was. So yeah, I believe the first quote from the father of Kylie Rodney was, "How the fuck did they miss that?" Is that a shocking response and or conclusion to make after you find out your missing daughter has been missing just this long because the police in your small county suck this much? So yeah, man, I don't know. So, some of these speculations are starting to fall off just a little bit for me. I understand, Xana May is still a strange person, but if it's true, like, I need to write a comprehensive list of what I know and what I don't. Okay, Xana May put herself at the location, went back to the location, claimed to have footage, but apparently, from hearsay, third-party information, the footage that was shown, which I gotta find myself. If it's there, I'll find it. Doesn't have an inkling of that party, period. She said, I was at a beautiful Hispanic party. We were right next to them, but the film didn't show that. I don't know that, though. We don't know that. Nobody knows that. And now we have this dude who I gotta, of course, do my due diligence like everybody else will. And instead of just railing and laughing at somebody that says, hey, I have a huge missing part of the puzzle, for whatever reason, whatever motivation that is, I don't know what you get out of doing that. I mean, more power to you. It's fun to roast people, but and the dude was clearly like emotionally charged up, man. I don't know what the context is to what made him so emotional. So I'm going to keep an open mind. Something that I believe Ryan Upchurch himself celebrates time and time again, and about every podcast he's ever been on. I'm so glad at least they have an open mind, and they don't just shut people down and attack them. That's exactly what Ryan Upchurch ended up doing. So now, man, I'm not saying the word hypocrite. That's a big word. I really am not trying to be a hater. I am not trying to just be a critic. I mean, all of us, I hope, are in here for the right reasons. We want the truth. If we were lied to, we want the truth. We want to know that we were lied to as well, because there's a whole systemic issue involved of the powers that be, okay, the people, the gatekeepers, whatever the hell you want to call them. There is a huge problem, all right? My recent ramblings, rantings, and nonstop research as of late nights into human trafficking in this country and cover-ups has me a whole bunch of disturbed. And then I went to the very website I told everybody not to go to, 4chan, and I watched a bunch of terribly violent videos, and I just came out hating life and society for a good few hours, and it was so bad that I oh boy, did I need a drink. Okay, so I figured I'd make this a little more interesting, and Kylie Rodney and that entire case kind of stays where it's at. I want to first show just little clips, snippets of footage. Okay, it's about that John Lang case. All right, and I don't want to let this one go, because this is evidence of a larger police department absolutely, possibly, allegedly committing murder and calling it a suicide. And the man that was found unalived was up to the, 5 days, probably even before that. He wrote a piece about how this police department, was it Fresno law enforcement, yeah, how they were, scamming people and writing tickets and how they were going about it. And he submitted it to a local paper, and some fucking narc in the newspaper, or for the paper, gave the IP address to the police, which by default you've just given the man's entire identity away and right to privacy and the address and everything. So there's a bunch of little clips. Like, instead of using somebody else's compilation and narrative, I found little pieces of all of the suspicious activity. Put yourself in the shoes of a man that has this security camera, and you put out some information that the police did not like one fucking bit, and this is what you start to see day in, day out, every single day. So here's, we'll call this Exhibit A. All right, tell me, is this suspicious to you? If this was your front yard? All right, so this is the original footage. Okay, so this pulls up in front. Look at this whole camera thing here. And you got multiple people, and this is just right smack dab in front of your house. And this was explained away to John Lang and to all of the people that have been wise to the case. This is just something or another, like, yeah, it was just a survey or I mean, okay, fine, I suppose. I'm not fucking buying it. And then people talking on the phone, and yeah, that's creepy as fuck, okay? Especially if I know that I did something to piss the police off, and this happens in I don't care what number of days, okay? Now, Exhibit B, super fast. The phone. Okay, here we go. So, context about what you're about to see. Thermal imaging, okay, here we go. This carpet cleaning van, by the way, okay? Now, you may not think it's strange, but remember the context, and knowing that, you're going to see all the information on this van, the company name, the phone number. So, people do what they do when they get information, right? They looked into the name of the company, the phone number. They called it. They tracked it. That's not weird. He just looked over his shoulder directly at the security camera, which is on the home of the man that has pissed off the Fresno police. So they called and did all the research humanly possible about this carpet cleaning van 656. It doesn't exist. The company doesn't exist. The tags went to nothing, as I recall. Out of everything I said, the only thing I'm not certain about is the tags and where they went to, but I can tell you that none of it went to anything real or substantial. There is no carpet upholstery. Where's the fucking name? I don't know. I'm sure it's there. But this was back in 2016, and it was my boy Forging Thought that told me, look into this case. You got to look into this case. I'm becoming just as passionate about this one as I'm about the Sandra Bland case. Never forget Sandra Bland. And off they go. Goodbye. Fake tags, fake fucking everything, company phone number, all of it fake. There was one speculation from a true crime person. Maybe they just started out, but man, I don't know. 20-minute gap in. Okay. There was Exhibit C, perhaps, mayhaps. I gotta be careful. As I've been reminded, Fresno law enforcement tries a second time. Oh my God! I think I realized what I'm using right now, which is kind of chilling. Lang Marine is the name of. Holy shit! This is still up. If my real-time assumption is accurate, this is the deceased John Lang's actual YouTube channel. Subscribe. This is all of his original documentation before the end of his life. This is, wow, humbling and kind of haunting, man. He documented it. I'm so proud of him, and I'm so heartbroken. This man did not commit suicide. I don't care about any ramifications I'll have to speaking the fucking truth. Okay, he made it so clear that they were coming for him. He was tagging news outlets and making posts, and made his fear as humanly public as possible. Where's the video of them conditioning his dog? And aside from that, let me jump right here to the fucking actual original autopsy report. Okay, real talk. Did I tell you guys how? Let me tell you the cause of death. Okay, let's bullshit for a second here. All right, I'm skipping that nonsense. Sustained. Oh wait, manner of death: suicide. Cause of death, inhalation of smoke and soot due to fire. Here's my favorite part, with multiple stab wounds as a contributing factor. What a strange way to off yourself. I am going to die in a house fire, but I'm going to stab myself with 2 different knives in the back. That's the way it's going to happen. Yeah. So, down the rabbit hole we go. But this is not a rabbit hole. This, to me, is not conspiracy. This is plain as day fuckery by the people we are indoctrinated to trust, to entrust with our safety and our loved ones. No fucking wonder why the people that looked for, Kylie Rodney, that had a badge on, weren't able to do so. And I'm not saying that they're corrupt or whatever the case, but I'm saying that they did not have the resources and they did a terrible job, and that Adventures with Purpose did everything they tried to do in 20,000 hours in 1 hour. Never forget that. Let me see. External photographs, evidence collection. I have read through this before, so I can kind of pinpoint to what I need to read. The body is received in a white body bag, blah, blah, blah. That's just about, there we go. 2 knives were brought into the autopsy. How many unalivings do you hear are done with 2 knives, by the way? It's interesting. Just interesting. That this describes a Japanese knife, so one of the really stabby ones. The second knife serrated. Yep, very stabby. When comparing the knives with the appearance of the stab wounds, depth of the wounds, the injury to the sternum and the front of the heart, the serrated bread knife could produce all 3 wounds without difficulty. The size of the lowest stab wound and associated internal wound course is inconsistent with the dimensions of the Japanese kitchen knife. Okay, again, I think there was a second autopsy done where it is written as official fact that it showed downward motion stabbing, like that other case of the woman that's a stripper on TikTok with an OnlyFans that murdered her boyfriend and said she threw the knife 20 or 10 feet away, but obviously from the autopsy they could tell it was a stabbing because there's just certain things you can't hide, and being stabbed in the fucking back is one of them. Okay, and by the way, the subject here, well-developed, well-nourished adult Caucasian male weighing 167 pounds, measuring 6'8" in length. He appears to be the recorded age of 51 years. This was a Marine, by the way. Semper Fi. This is a veteran. Even more reason why there needs to be so much more heat on everybody that was involved. And the police chief during this time, as I recall about this case, was involved in another mysterious death of a guy that went to confront him about selling Oxycontin and opiates. And then what happens to the guy that did the confrontation? Is found unalived. Of course, suicide is all the rage. No, what was it with him? Was it an actual... Oh, no, it was a bullet wound to the head. My mistake. Bullet wound to the head, and he had all of his belongings on his person still. General appearance. Soot is present over the face, which happens in a fire. The top and bottom of the feet and the hands. No additional areas of soot, blah, blah, blah. The left interior chest has 3... stop texting me. Has 3 penetrating stab wounds, which naturally perforate through the interior chest wall. The breasts are normal size. No additional injuries are noted to the chest region. This one's not going to talk about the back. This is why you need to always hire a second opinion, a second coroner. This was the one that the police hired. And as I recall, because I've done my homework, this autopsy will show you there is 2 fire department investigators and 2 Fresno law enforcement officers present. They were not supposed to be there, but they're there, and it's documented. All right, I'm trying to get past all the soot bullshit. Now, all right, I don't mean to even have a moment of levity or humor. Sincerely, I do not. Is this kind of a fucking poke, like after the fact? I shouldn't even read this, but I read it. I was like, that seemed unnecessary. Here it is. The external genitalia show a normal circumcised schmegel. I've never said that in my life. And the testicles are normally situated. The genitalia is unremarkable. Like, damn, man. Like, you guys did him dirty. And now you're going to go and, try him like that? I'm sorry, that was bad taste, but levity sometimes in the darkness makes a little difference, okay? John Lang, you deserve so much better than everything that has happened. Your life was a struggle in a pursuit of truth, and you found people accountable for destroying the trust of the American people, and you were thanked. Oh yeah, you surely were thanked, being burned within your own home. All of your belongings were set ablaze and gone. Your last call was to your ex-wife, and the stab wounds of which were reported were on your back, not like they are being reported here, but I have not completed this. And, yeah, it's a fucking cover-up, man. Just call it for what it is. This is not a conspiracy. All toes present, prominent soot, blah, 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 tattoos, scars, evidence of injury. Okay, multiple stab wounds of the chest, total of 3. There are 3 stab wounds on the left interior chest between the breast and the sternum. The wounds are located between 50 and... See, okay. From the left heel, I can't... If I read the dimensions, I'm not sure. In layman's terms, it's really going to make full sense. I just know this is complete evidence of fuckery. Wound course. Perforates the sternum at the left fourth rib level. Perforates the interior surface of the peridactyl sac. Perforates the upper front. These knives went all the way through from the back to the front. The peridactyl sac contains less than 50 milliliters of liquid blood, front to back, and the other autopsy shows back to front. So yeah, official reports, which one of my friends always says, trust the official report. Don't believe anything until the official report comes out. Yeah, no, I cannot agree. Ever. Okay? I don't have a generic distrust for law enforcement, but when it comes to people that try to expose them, sure I do. In summary, 2 of the stab wounds enter the interior chest region by perforating the front of the sternum, with only 1 perforating the interior wall of the right vertical or ventricle. A small amount of blood is present in the sac surrounding the heart. When opening the thoracic cavity, a lot of blood, okay, is noted with the collapsed left lung. There are bilateral anterior rib fractures plus, okay, all right. The usual autopsy incision is made. Areas of hemorrhaging. So this man was stabbed and burned alive, or burned dead, but he did not kill himself, which is what they want us to believe. And still, 2016, this investigation is shut. Who fucking says? You know, when you have this much traction, when you know as much as you do, that shows that there's an dishonest handling of the case by the shadiest fucking characters within the department at this time, given all the context. When the fuck do we just call it out and make that official news when I look that shit up? So, okay, I covered, if you missed it, I covered my bit about Ryan Upchurch's reaction to the laptop guy. If I do a generic search here, Kelly Rodney's laptop, what happens? Because I can't criticize the man as much as Ryan Upchurch felt comfortable doing so. And I still find myself asking, like, motive of him wanting to drag that guy. It's just a guy, as far as I know, that said, hey, look, I have Kylie Rodney's laptop, and he's yet to really give any information out about that. Ryan Upchurch, if I recall, man, you did the same thing the very night that you were like, I found all the information, I'm going to release everything, just wait for the next video, and then we all had to wait like 24 hours for your drop, and your drop was, it's all fake, it's all a scam. But now I've heard reports of the father and the grandpa, again, I'm repeating myself, being at the same scene. So there goes that one part of your theory of them being the same person. Kylie Rodney are different people. That's been proven. Kylie Rodney, as far as we know, because no, we haven't seen it with our own eyes, was the one that was in the vehicle. We know that the boyfriend, Jagger, said that she drove drunk. That is still suspect because we don't have the official cause of death released to the public. All right, all the FOIA requests and everything possible to get as much information and truth as we deserve, as the American people and public, we deserve the truth. And right now, I don't know, like, again, Ryan Upchurch, man, like, I've been a fan, and I especially loved when you were, like, roasting and going through that Nicole Arbor nonsense. You were a true gentleman and how you handled it. But when you got into this specific world, man, hold on, for my closing statement, let me do this. When you got to this case, you had me hook, line, and sinker, okay? Things didn't add up. Your resources, Google Earth, the passion you had to give closure. Remember how much the mother moved you? I still remember that very clearly. Somebody. So what happened to that empathy and sympathy, and then like the whole narrative at you being shocked that people are angry that Carly Rodney's body was found is another huge hole in the whole theory, man. That doesn't hold up either. Yes, people are going to be pissed off that they know they have to finally accept and let go of any hope that they had that she was alive. And you speculate, why is the grandpa saying, leave us in peace, leave me alone, stay out of my business? Can you wonder that your 3 million passionate followers that worship you, that all turned into true crime private investigators over the span of a night, or as they continued to follow you, go down the rabbit hole and finding the things you found? Look, the Daniel Rodney with the being a handyman, and you found his building, 1 to 4 employees. They make $2.5 million annually. Strange, brother. I'm with you, man. Preach it. I'm with you. Where the shit is strange, it's strange. But still continuing on, saying that is all staged, fake. You're calling everybody a liar here. The family, the friends, and yes, I find it weird. 300, 500 teenagers, no pictures of a party. Insane to me. I mean, kids will literally rip off the crumbs of their peanut butter sandwich just to take a picture and say, look at what I did today. I mean, so yeah, that is absolutely that's a hole in your favor. But like, I would have so much more respect. Not that I know you give a shit. You're the king of don't give a fuck. You've made that clear. But I would have respect for anybody that says, look, I was wrong, am wrong, have been wrong about this. But hey, this is still suspect, strange, has my attention. And the last thing I want to see, my biggest fear with all of this mess, truly, is that somebody, perhaps, I hope not, inspired by you, that becomes so vindicated and their conviction is so strong that it's blinding, and they do something whole fucking stupid and end up, God forbid, going and finding the funeral or the address of the parents, which, I mean, you've all but exposed that. And like, what the fuck, want pictures of this deceased girl in the casket? Like, where does it end, man? Where does it end? And at what point do we say, okay, like, the victims of this crime, they don't owe the public anything. They get to suffer in silence. They get to mourn the loss of their daughter. They don't have to prove that anything is real. But again, I see how this can play into somebody's favor that is saying conspiracy. Isn't that convenient? You're suffering the loss of your daughter and you need privacy. How dare you? Man, I'm truly not trying to tear you down. I see some valid points, but I also see some flaws, and you're not acknowledging any of them. You're not infallible. You're not perfect. You're a greater, far more talented and popular man than I am. But, I see you also be very condescending and insulting to people that simply ask questions or challenge you. And in that, I want to remind you of your humanity and ask you, why did you get so involved in this case? It wasn't all to just get attention. You don't need it. You've got enough. So if it's the pursuit of truth, then, well, it's just that. But you gotta, for the sake of, I don't know, sanity and some peace, some much needed peace, man, just say where it, if anywhere you can, break down some of the ego and say, I was and am wrong about this. Let's move forward. That's all I can say about it. Let's all, as a community, not hate on each other for having different opinions. Embrace that we have different opinions. Okay? Be unified that we all started for the right reasons. The road to hell may be paved with good intentions, but we can still get pretty damn far if we stop being so tribalistic and saying, I'm team Upchurch, I'm team this, that, the other, I'm on Adventures with Purpose side, I'm on, fuck the sides, man. We're all human beings and we want justice, and we don't want to see our children continue to go missing or be found fucking slaughtered or found, dead under mysterious circumstances without an explanation. So we're all in a bit of limbo, and I am somewhat confident, even though there's plenty of examples of cover-ups, that we may just get some more truth out of this. I'm going to look into this guy with the laptop. I said I'd do it live, but somehow I doubt. Just out of a Hail Mary. Let's see. Kyle Rodney laptop found. Well, it came up in the algorithm quick. What's the... Oh, it's the guy himself. What is his motive here? I'm looking at the page. He's got new, as of 2 days ago, new evidence. He's on a kayak. Hold up. Okay, I didn't see any of this. This is wholly new to me. What is this? What is this? Can you guys see what I'm seeing here?
Here, the location where Kyle Rodney is. The officer's right there. He's coming on his way. Some of the items I've recovered. All right.
Okay.
I'll let you guys go.
Okay. All right. He's at the location. Hold on. We found new evidence. I want to see more. I'm not gonna watch this whole video. Don't worry. People in the chat
Hey guys,
asking
everybody here
to
with
reach out to him.
me?
What do we got, man?
They found everything. I can tell you this. I just have a paddleboard, a swim cap,
What got edited?
just some basic gear. And I'm like, why is it that I can find stuff?
Why is it that I can
that
find?
other people can't? So I guess this is. I have to show you what happened.
Okay, just bad audio.
More stuff that was in the vehicle.
All right, so he's just building
All
up
right,
to where.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I did read.
Okay, I get it. Now, this was the video that was getting you to. Whoa, it's too long. Let me hear you out for a moment. Speak.
Coming.
Oh, can't.
I got so mad. I mean, I don't know. Times are.
Who's LE, by the
things
way?
happen, there's
LE. Who the fuck is LE? Sorry. At Ickmail. What's going on in that chat there? Okay.
It's all mixing up, but finally, they said the sheriff was coming, or somebody was coming, or the car pulled up, and I was like, whoa.
Can't hear a thing.
Hey, I hope so too, but it takes a community, so.
So he's just sitting here talking to the chat. I'm very curious and stunned here.
Just like I go out there and I'm doing what I'm doing, I hope that you guys are able to send us an email when our content is being used so that we can keep providing that good content to you guys. So
I'll email you. I'm using your content. Public domain, fair use. I'm reacting. This is a part of my education. Thank you.
Mad respect. If you guys could please do that, we'd appreciate it. We're gonna get mods. We're gonna make this channel grow, and we're gonna make it better. All right.
What did we really gain out of this discovery? Let me see the first comment real quick, and then I'm off. I promise. And I don't know who law enforcement. Sorry, I feel like a fool. Yeah, okay, you can cap that one. This is amazing. So sorry. If this is Kylie's belongings, then law enforcement, thank you, Bert, should all be fired immediately. So we have AWP and then some random fella that are finding evidence. You would like to think that law enforcement are being extra careful in this case since it is so publicized on social media. Wouldn't you think they would have ensured it was searched for every single piece of evidence? Tell that to AWP the day they found her and were told not to look there. which I see my buddy Bert Gummer was like, how do you know that they said that? Well, I don't know. Go read the transcripts. Man, I'll come up with something for you. Just bear with me. I'm only human. I can't even imagine the emotions that must be flooding in you today. So sorry. Who is this guy? This says a lot. They have determined it was just an accident. Really? Just an accident? If it's just an accident, they treat it like this. They are not going and picking up debris, Keystone cops through and through. Okay, yeah. Well, I guess I got more homework to do, so you can expect more videos. So, look, I did my moniker already, so I'll make it quick. I'll make quick work of it. Thanks for sticking it out with me throughout this journey that's getting stranger and stranger by the day. Cases are no longer just, it's either hot or cold, whatever the case. Let's celebrate what unifies us. Whatever divides us, we use it to inspire us to have a discussion, because only then can we hope to speak truth to power and then really stick it to LE. Good night, y'all. It's Friday. I'm going to do something. Thanks for the visit. Oh, hey, Jessa. Gone.